I've been actually now close to 20 years at TD, and I love every minute of it. Degrees are good, but they're not the end objective. It helps open doors.
Kelvin Tran is now the Chief Financial Officer for TD Bank US. The former Vietnamese refugee who spent time in a camp in Indonesia before his family arrived in Montreal, Kelvin Tran has made quite an impression in the TD Bank world.
Having a great attitude is also important, and the ability to empathize, understand the other person's perspective.
Using his own success to assist others, the Vietnamese-born executive is helping to train Asian leaders of tomorrow. He is the founding president of Ascend Canada, which develops current and future Pan-Asian leaders.
I've been actually now close to 20 years at TD, and I love every minute of it. When I first joined TD, I was 5 years out of university. I was working for an accounting firm at the time. My journey at TD has been really interesting. I got a lot of different opportunities. I changed role every 2 to 3 years. So all the roles that I have had, even when the second role that I've had was people tapping me on the shoulders and say, "Hey, Kelvin, I think you should do this. This is great for you and great for the bank." Degrees are good, but they're not the end objective. It helps open doors. And if you already have experience, then you don't really need as many different degrees. If you're already working in that industry, focus on getting the right experience. It's never bad to get another degree, but that's usually not the best option because time is limited. So you should think about if you want to get a second degree, let's say, how much time would you spend studying and going to classes? So let's say that's 10 hours a week. Would you be better off taking that 10 hours a week and spending it at work or sitting on a not-for-profit organization volunteering and learning new skills as you're doing a special project, right? And that's real life. And it builds connection and network at your company, which are really important that you can't get necessarily at school. I would say is explore the different options that you have. Like when I started, I knew that I wanted to be in the business world, and because accounting is the language of business, that's what I started with. But I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And that's okay. Very few people do. And if you do, hopefully you're open-minded enough that as you go through your career and you learn more, be flexible and be open to new and different opportunities. And that's what I want people to do, is be open-minded, but be curious and be willing to learn. In a big company, especially a global company, you're working with a lot of people, a lot of peers, people that report to you, people that are senior leaders, people in different location, different culture, different language. And so the bigger challenge is less about your technical knowledge, but it's about working with different people. And as you move up the ranks, your job is to influence and get everybody to work towards the same direction. And that's much harder to do. And I would say it's about having good, strong people skills, and having a great attitude is also important, and the ability to empathize, understand the other person's perspective. Delegation is important, but then holding your staff accountable is important. You can't do one without the other, and make sure that you coach them and help them develop over time, because when you delegate, you're always giving them something that probably you should be working on a little bit, and that's a stretch opportunity. And in order to help them succeed, you need to stay close, but not too close that you're micromanaging them, but give them enough rope that they could grow and sometimes make mistakes, and that's fine. Yeah, so working in different cultures is extremely important. It's part of your development. The most important thing is the ability to listen, active listening. Because everybody's trying to do the best that they could, but we communicate differently, we express ourselves differently. And so if you listen carefully, intently about what the other person is trying to achieve, and you can bring that into the solution, then you could bridge any culture. And the other thing I would say is observe, because when I go into a new place, a new group, I do observe the culture that is part of that group. And even within a big bank, we have subcultures. So don't just listen to what people say, watch what they do. For new graduates, it's very important that they be themselves at the interviews. It's easier said than done. I know I've gone through that process as well. But as an employer, I really need to see who you are and how you would behave in the workplace, and your attitude, your personality matters a lot. And if you try to be somebody who you're not, number one, you will be uncomfortable because that's not who you are, and I see that, and that makes me uncomfortable. But there's ways for people to get more comfortable. I know it's hard for new graduates, but I think that they could get more involved into different activities. They could get more involved into cocktail setting and have small talks, and over time they get more comfortable in talking about themselves, which is what the interview is about.